Hi, everyone. I am Camille Miller, the founder of the Natural Life Business Partnership, a global network for soul-centered entrepreneurs. Welcome to another episode of Six Figure Souls, our summit on doing good and making money. Today, my guest is Phoebe Fazio, a visibility coach who trains online healers and channelers with their online business. Did I get that right, Phoebe?
Sure.
Okay.
How to grow your business online now that so many people can't do it in person,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh, it's my
Um,
pleasure to be here.
yeah, so in our pre-interview, before we turn on the camera, you told me a little bit that you weren't always spiritual. You had more of
hmm
a coming out or a spiritual awakening
hmm
that kind of brought you where you are today. And it's to work with channelers is a big spiritual development.
Oh boy.
To
Yeah.
go from where you were to where you are is pretty big. Can you take us back and just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's quite a journey. Yeah, I was a music teacher in public school. I wasn't raised spiritual. I didn't speak that language. Looking back, I can see that I was spiritual, but I didn't have the language for any of that. And it was, as many of us have experienced, it was a type of betrayal that happened
Hmm.
that where I just couldn't get a hold of why it was so upsetting. And then learned what the dark night of the soul is. And like, I didn't know any of that. And here I am in the dark night of my soul, wondering what the heck. When I was, I went for therapy because I'm like, okay, I've been to therapy before. I must need therapy to get out of this.
Okay.
Turns out the therapist also does energy work. I didn't know what
There's
energy.
law of attraction at work.
Yeah, like I don't know energy work. What are you doing? I don't know. But she said, I'm a trained psychotherapist. We can do the talk therapy, or I do this other thing. She named it. I don't remember what she called it. I was just like, I don't care. Sure. She goes, I just find it helps more quickly. It helps people. And so
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. And whatever she was doing, I'd go home and go like, I don't know, she was doing like voodoo or something. I don't know what it was, but it felt amazing. And so I resonated with whatever she was doing. I didn't need to know what it was. And she also played crystal bowls for me. I'd never heard crystal bowls.
Sound healing. Yeah.
And she opened my throat because I heard those sounds. And, I was a music teacher and I was teaching kids how to sing, right? And
Right,
I'm
right.
like a closet singer, I want to sing, but I was afraid to, I had stage fright and all that stuff. But the bowls like made my voice just want to resonate with it. And so she opened that for me. And then it was then I'm in the sound world and energy and I want to know more, and then I'm learning metaphysical stuff, and but the sound, what I would just be driving making sound, and I didn't know what these, I called them weird sounds. I just didn't know what they were.
Right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
it wasn't until I started to open up to do it in front of people, and they were telling me what they were experiencing. And the more I did it, even online and in videos, people were really getting clear on what they were feeling and what they were hearing in the sounds. And that's when I realized that the sounds I was making were channeled sounds.
Oh,
I'm thinking they're weird. I don't know where they're coming from.
okay.
But it wasn't until I did some Reiki training where I learned how to be a channel for energy. And I'm like, oh, I'm a vehicle. The sounds just come in, and I can make the sounds.
Incredible.
It
Incredible.
it
So
it
after I would say like spiritual awakening, it is with like healthy lifestyle, holistic, whatever you call yourself. Like you dip your
hmm
toe and it's like you're going for the swim. Because as soon as you start feeling good and things start resonating, you just keep like, I want to learn a little
What's
more. I
next?
want to learn
Yep.
more. Like, what about this? And what about this? And it keeps showing up
hmm
and showing up. And it's just
That's it exactly. It shows up.
it
Like I kept
shows
seeing
up.
Reiki, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do some Reiki. Oh, it's not this weekend. Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, it's too far away. I'm like, oh, wait. that one's happening
And then
a
it's,
weekend I'm available and I'm here and it's the right price. I'm going. You
yep.
know, that's the yes.
Yeah, it's just incredible the way things show up and how
Yeah.
you don't think it's going to happen, right? It just shows up when you're ready and when you're open to
Hmm.
possibility. And
Usually in twos or threes. By the third time, I'm like, all right, I'm
yeah,
listening.
mine's three.
Right? The
But the
third time,
problem,
like, got it.
yeah, I used to ignore it, but now I've
Yes.
learned that if something crosses my path three times, I need to take action on it.
Yeah, did you have the same experience I had, whereas if you ignore it too long, you
It
get
just
like the two
smacks
before
my head.
against the head?
Yeah. Yes.
You get smacked down. You're either sick or something gets hurt or you're in an accident or something.
That's so funny because I'm reading this book now, and the Course of Miracles keeps showing up for me, keeps showing up, and I've
Hmm.
never gone through it or read the book.
Hmm.
And last night I was reading another book, and damn it, it showed up again, and I was like, okay, I get it. And that was like the fourth or fifth time. I'm like, I get it. It's on my list. Like I get it.
And that's a commitment. The
That's
Course of
that's
Miracles
what
is
I've
not.
heard, and I think that's why I keep like pushing it off because first it was like, what is this? Why does it keep showing up? Then after the third
Hmm.
time, I actually Googled it. So I knew what it was, but then it showed up two more times. And I'm like,
Hmm.
I get it. I get it. I know that's where I need to be. So
Hmm.
yeah, I think that's the
Hmm.
way things show up.
They
Okay.
do, for sure.
So when you're going through your awakening,
Hmm.
right, and you're going through your Reiki, how did you start to produce a business out of it? Like, what was that lever?
Well, that was a long journey.
Oh,
Yeah, because somehow, I mean, there were a lot of different avenues that I could take it. And so what showed up primarily was the sound washing. That's the channeled sound that I mentioned. And so, and I was working with spirit by then. I was like, what is this? I mean, it showed it to me visually. I have since trademarked it and made a CD and, you know, but that started with just making videos. Like, I don't know what this is exactly, but I'm going to do it in online. There you go. I don't, here it is, And then it was like, oh, I'm doing online live events before live streaming was, Facebook Live and all that. I was doing them live, in person and online, and just exploring like how is this happening. And then it became part of the Reiki. Then it became part of my yoga teaching. um, but none of those avenues were really, like CDs for,
yeah.
it's a double CD for $20. How many CDs do I have to sell in order to make a living at this? And I could see the writing on the walls for all of those things, and it just wasn't. I don't,
Right.
and I knew it was going to be online, some piece of it, and I did some training, but I I learned a lot about how to put yourself online. Um, I created an e-course and YouTube channel, and I'm out there, right? And I'm
Yeah, yeah.
writing blog posts and doing video blogs and all this stuff. Um, but not seeing the income
Yeah.
yet, you
Yeah.
know?
I think a lot of us follow that model.
Right? Like,
Yeah,
I'm
the
building my
content
list
creation
too. I'm
model.
building my list forever. It was
Yeah.
like four or
Yeah.
5 years and I'm still building my list and I'm still
Yeah.
building my following and I'm, where's the money,
I'm curious just to interject right there.
Mhm.
I found that when I created content and I have the podcast and the YouTube channel and interviews and I have all of it. The blogs, I've been doing it for 5 years. But it never
Same.
really connected with the soul-centered people I was looking for. I found that the soul-centered people needed a real heart-centered one-on-one connection. It wasn't until I started lives do it, but it wasn't until I started just saying, "Hey, I'll have a conversation."
Right.
Yeah,
And for me, I had to get some specialized training. I had to have a mentor. I mean, it took me to I was in a really dark place
yeah,
before I could like, I can't do this alone.
yeah,
The online course that I was in, it was like
totally.
wallowing in all the stuff.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so I
yeah.
need somebody to hold my hand.
Yep.
and I need some structure. I need somebody to say, this structure, this will work for you. Because there's all these different things. Well, this one, do this. And to see results. That's what I needed. I needed a structure that somebody was going to hold me accountable and walk me through it and keep me going, in a structure that is proven and it works.
Right.
And that's when all of my gifts started to come together. That's when I launched 2 summits in a year, and started my coaching practice. I didn't think of it in terms of like, oh, I'm going to be doing some coaching. I was being a sound healer, yoga teacher, Reiki person, I don't know. But all those gifts, all those modalities came together in my coaching practice. And I'm working with people like myself.
Right.
That I needed that hand holding, and now I do that hand holding. So it's just this beautiful evolution that happened for me.
Yeah. And how do you believe for yourself? Do you believe like the law of attraction is a part of your business? Like you
Absolutely.
with yourself?
Oh yeah. I
I'm a
mean,
big believer that I attract people that are like 2 steps behind me. Like as
that's
I'm
right.
learning, I'm teaching it behind me. Right?
Mhm.
So every time I learn something new, I know I'm going to be teaching it.
Yeah. For me, and what I teach my clients is that it's in the vision.
Mm,
So if I stay in touch with my vision, even a simple vision, like my vision was me standing on stage.
okay.
I didn't even know what I was saying on stage, but I kept seeing myself in the lights on the stage with a full audience, dressed up, and I was confident. And well, there I was. And I just kept coming back to that, kept coming back to that. And what I teach my clients is when we're on that path towards that vision, our clients are walking towards us on the same path,
Yeah.
right? And that is law of attraction. We have a vision, we're in alignment with that vision, and our people are looking for us, and they're
Yeah.
walking
That's,
towards us,
yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
we have to be visible
Looking for us.
and ready for them to see us,
Yeah.
right?
I love that idea. What's a
Yeah.
core value for you?
For me, it's all about alignment.
Mm,
When I am aligned with divine, what I came here for, and I ground myself in that, and I keep coming back to that alignment. I'm not perfect. I'm not always in alignment,
yeah.
but that's what I do every single day. I have a practice that I do that brings me into alignment. My body, my energy field, my spirit, my mind come back into alignment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Um, I have 2 questions in my head. Like, okay, which one's
Yep.
going? Sorry. Just get away.
Ask them both.
I was gonna say, well, do you consider yourself a soul-centered person? But I kind of already know the answer.
Definitely.
That's
That
a
was
big
easy.
yes, yeah. But the second was, who do you align yourself with? Is there people that you follow? Is there a certain practice?
Well, I align myself with my divine nature.
Mm,
That's first and foremost. And then in the 3D plane, I align myself with a program that is working for me,
okay.
right? And what helps with that is that when I get this little squirrel, like, oh, squirrel, and I'm like, oh, I want to try that over there. And then it's like, but your goal is over
Big
here,
focus.
and you've invested in this,
Yeah.
and this is working. And I don't do this alone, right? I've got a mentor, I've got coaches, I've got community, I've got spirit. Everybody is like, bring you back. Yeah, you can go over here and play for a while, but come on back. Um,
Plain.
yeah, yeah. So putting those support systems in place is like so key for me. Like here's where we're going, and here's the support system that says, oh, I hear what you're saying. You're not alone, and let's come on back to where we're all going.
Yeah. What's a takeaway that you could say to our viewers that are all watching this, or I don't know what day they are in the summit at this point. They're all watching this summit. Maybe they've watched another one and they're coming back to this, that are wanting to be visualizing themselves as a six-figure soul one day. What's a takeaway or something that you can say about getting there, about becoming all of that?
I would say that you're on the right path. Every step you take towards that vision is exactly the right step. Even if you think it was wrong or second guess yourself or whatever, every single step is the right step. And keep on going because your clients are looking for you, right?
Yeah, I love that. It's so interesting that you say it that way because sometimes when I look back on my journey, right, and all the different jobs I had and the things that brought me to where I am today to run this community, I couldn't have planned it. Like there's nothing that said you needed to do these 10 things that make no sense,
Right.
All of my degrees are in totally different fields. Like I was just kind of all over the place and never feeling fully aligned, and I think that's why I moved. Right. And I think that's a really good way. I didn't know it at the time,
Right.
right? I was in like non-for-profit for a long time. I went into agriculture and food as a background. I was in healthcare for a while. I just kept moving. I taught small business, but all of that makes sense exactly where I am today.
Right.
And I always say, well, I have no competition because there's no other me out there.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's another thing about the soul-centered entrepreneurs that we're talking with, that there's only one you. And when you follow all the other guru models that might be out there, like the content and everything, right? You're not doing you any differently than everybody else. Right? You need to find your own purpose, your own path, and just stay in your lane. Don't go wide. Don't do all of
Right.
these things, just like stay in your niche. Don't go wide.
Well, unless that's your way.
Or you
You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, I'm a manifesting generator, human
yeah,
design, and we tend to do a lot of things all at once.
yeah.
And I used to make myself wrong. Like, why can't I just do this
Yeah.
and do the steps like I'm supposed to?
Yeah.
But now I am, but all of that I've been doing is coming along with me. And like you said, none of it was by accident. Everything was on purpose. Even the missteps. Oh, that was a loser, or that didn't work, or even our childhood, our challenges in our childhood that we're still, trying to heal from, all the wounding and everything. It's all part of it.
Yeah.
If we didn't have that wounding, we wouldn't have learned what we learned so that we could help other people with the same thing,
Yeah.
right?
We are who we are, not by accident, right?
Right. And we're radiating our vibration, and people are resonating with that. Those people that resonate with us are our soul family. And those are the people we attract who are looking for that peace that we have
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah. Just you attract your own vibration,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's like two tuning forks. When you strike one tuning fork, it starts vibrating. If you don't strike this one, it vibrates because this one's vibrating.
Yeah.
So it's a scientific fact that whatever's vibrating here is going to, essentially vibrate
Yeah.
what resonates with it. Yeah.
Yeah. We find our community. We feel them. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to
Yeah.
feel them.
Yeah. And there's no mistakes.
Yeah.
There's there's no, that kind of, for me, that lets go of some of the fear of, well, I don't know, can't do that. Or, it's like, well, just try it, see how it feels when you're doing it. And if it feels like a match, even if it's challenging,
Yeah.
is it a good challenging, or is it like brick wall, brick wall, brick wall? Like, if something's not working, I'm just like, okay,
Yeah.
Not right now, or maybe not this. You know, I've learned to do that, like
Yeah.
instead of just keep slamming into the wall.
Yeah. So I have three girls going to college, and
Mm,
and they're always like, "Well, how do I know? How do I know?" And I was like, "You don't have to choose who you are today.
right.
You'll know. Like your path finds you. Just keep following your passion. Keep following
Yep.
your passion. It'll all make sense. I don't know when, but it does. Like you just keep following what feels right and
Yeah.
go in that direction."
And that's such a great message to give your kids.
Yeah.
So great. Yeah. Even if it looks like, well, you're never going to make any
Looks
money
like you're
doing that, you know?
right.
Well, you
Right.
might. Who knows?
You might. You're right.
Who, I mean,
People
I don't know, 10
haven't
years
trained
ago, they
their
weren't
number
making
fronts.
money on YouTube videos, right? But now it's a thing. Not everybody makes money on it, but it's possible,
You don't know.
right?
You don't
Just
know.
just keep on doing what you love.
Yeah, one of the things I loved was I have my oldest daughter. When she was in high school, and I would say maybe around sophomore, junior year, or somewhere where they have to decide whatever their career is because they're starting to look at colleges.
Right.
And myself, she was, she's an honor straight A student, and we
Hmm.
always thought she was going to be a doctor. She always talked about genetics. She took science for fun. She'd take three a
Hmm.
year. Like she was crazy into science. And then she announced she's going to film school. And we were like, okay, that's awesome. But um, uh, she went to her guidance counselor, and her guidance counselor told her, you'll never make money. That's a terrible career. What are you
Mm.
thinking? And she came home and she told me about it, and I was like, what did you say? She goes, I turned around and said, yeah, how did Steven Spielberg do?
I'm like, Hollywood's full of people making millions, billions.
And I was like,
You mean you're
that's
not going to
right.
make any money?
Like, you do you. Don't ever let
Yeah,
anyone tell you what you can and can't do.
right?
Like, you can be anything,
And those
anything at
guys didn't
all.
even study film. You know what I
No.
mean? It's like,
And yeah, and if you look at like your Albert Einsteins and some of the people, like when they were in school, they weren't really looked at as the brightest people. They just learned differently,
right,
right?
right.
So I'm like, don't let other people judge you. Like,
Hmm.
just be who you are.
And just like you and I are saying, who's to say that all the science she studied isn't going to play into her
In a
filmmaking,
film, I think it will
right?
actually. I think
It's
it
it's
will.
all it's all there
Yes,
on
I
purpose.
can't
It's
wait
gonna.
to see it. Yes, I totally believe that. Totally believe
Yeah,
that.
I thought all the teaching music was going out the window when I decided to be a healer. But then I look at it, I'm like, teaching music, sound
Sound
healing, but it's
healing.
really not much of a shift at
Crazy
all.
good. Right. Oh my gosh.
And
Amazing.
it's a lot of my teacher friends that are like, I'm really liking those sounds you're making. They're really cool. So we just have to turn off that part of the brain that says things like, you can't make money after that,
I,
or, or who do you think you
yeah.
are to do that, or, or even just, oh, those are weird sounds. Well, they're weird and
Yeah.
healing. People get a lot from them.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, I so loved this interview. Thank you so much for being a part of this summit. If you loved this summit, please join us to continue the conversation in our free Facebook group and tell us what you loved about this interview. Thank you, Phoebe, for your time today and for being a part of our Six Figure Soul Summit.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me. It was fun to talk with you.
You're welcome. This was awesome.